So Nightmare on Elm Street is a classic remake, just like all the others that have come out. We got the Friday the 13th one, we got the Halloween ones, all of which were done way better than this one. Holy cow, was this a flop. I mean, it takes the Freddy story, which is, a child molester, has a bunch of kids cooped up and, terrorizes the neighborhood. Parents find out, they set him on fire in a building.
Full revenge, yeah.
Yeah, he dies, and then he starts haunting the same children in their dreams later on in their teenage years. And if you die in the dream, you die in real life. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
But this movie just kind of went bam. I think they knew it was supposed to only be an hour. Like they knew no one would sit through 2 hours of it. So to make it shorter, they just skipped the first half of the movie. This movie just starts out right in the middle of everything, and you're like, really? And it kind of tries to tie back. Like it's one of those. It's going and then it ties back to the past. Ties. I think it's trying to be creative, but instead it just gets really confuddled and lost.
Yeah.
And I think the best part is when they try to make Freddy look like a good guy for a little while.
Yeah.
And that the kids were actually evil. I was like, yes, that part was the only reason I gave it a D+ instead of an F. Because there was just a couple moments in there where I was just like, yes, Freddy can be a good guy.
Well, and maybe that would have been a more interesting choice.
But yeah, but for the most part, there was no exposition. It was just a bunch of teenagers having scary dreams and dying. Freddy wasn't even that interesting. Like, I don't know. Freddy has more. It felt like this was more of a remake of Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5, when it became less about horror and more about this weird comedy / hybrid that the Chuckies have been going into with Bride of Chucky and all those. Yeah. And it just felt like it was trying to capture that kind of horror instead of the earlier stuff. And Friday the 13th was done better than this one.
What did you think of the lead actors, if you will, the teenagers?
The puppy dog boy? What's up with that guy? The guy looked like he was crying the whole movie. And the girl, it was like
Rooney Mara.
The she's all that character, what they make fun of in Not Another Teen Movie. It just was like that girl. It was the Not Another Teen Movie spoof of
Nightmare on Elm Street. And the reason that is because Samuel Bayer is the director of this movie, but to really credit him as a director, I think, is somewhat of a disservice, because the production company that put out this movie is the same production company that's been doing most of these remakes, like the Friday the 13th and the Amityville Horror, and the first one that kind of kicked off these remakes, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a production company by our favorite director in the world, sarcasm, Michael Bay, is the producer of this Platinum Dunes company that puts out all of these crappy remakes. And basically their formula is, let's take the original movie that was a classic that has been kind of forgotten by newer generations, and we'll put millions of dollars into the production of these movies that were cool because they were made cheaply, and then just suck the soul and life out of them and shove them out in new packaging for a new audience who maybe doesn't remember this. So basically, it wasn't as bad as it could be, to be honest. It was just, if you've seen the original movie, you've seen it, but you've seen it better already. One of the best things about the original Texas Chainsaw, well, that too, but one of the things that's cool about Wes Craven's original Nightmare on Elm Street back in the 82 was that it was made for like $5 million. And so there was all these cool special effects that were all done in the camera. It was before CGI, it was before green screen, all that, the super high sound mixing and all that stuff. It was just cool because he had to figure out these ways to create these weird effects. One of my favorite death scenes in a horror movie is the death of the blonde girl in the original, where she's crawling up the walls and up on the ceiling and all of this stuff, and you see it looks as if someone is doing these things to her, but you physically can't see how that would happen. It's done with the old turning camera moving room effect, and in here it's just a green screen thing. You can tell it was just done with CGI special effects, and it just takes the soul out of that whole scene. The scene where Freddy comes through the wall, one of the coolest special effects, and that was done really easily with just a panel of latex or something like that, and it's just pushed through. Now it's CG, you have to come out and swoop, and it's not cool at all. It looks like some special effect you'd see in like the Haunted Mansion movie.
The Haunted Mansion ride at Disney World.
It's more of a spectacle than a movie, and it's, you just have these really bland teenage characters that could have come off of any OC or anything like that. They just have no personality or character to them. And I gave it a C because it's very digestible. If you've never seen the original, it might seem cool to you, but there's just no reason to see this movie.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna. Oh wait, you get to introduce this one.
This will be me, actually.
Yeah.